morning, everyone, and welcome to this morning's call. Could I ask you just to raise your hand or just, okay, there we go. Thanks very much, Jeff. Fantastic. So you can see my screen, and I know you can hear me as well. So fantastic. Okay, so good morning. This morning, we're going to be looking at R&D tax relief as a service that you could be offering if you're not offering it yet to your clients, and just to find out a bit more about how it works and if it becomes a revenue stream, how that works as well. So this morning we've got with us on the call, let me get to the next screen here, the interview, this lady called Nicole Ballantyne is at Jumpstart. Nicole, good morning. We've got a few people on, and for those who are on, if you have questions as we go along, feel free to just type it into your question box or raise your hand, and I'll then try and unmute you, and you can ask directly of Nicole unless you type in your question, and I'll pick that up as well. So with that, we'll hand over to Nicole. Nicole, good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome this morning. So, hey, tell us a bit about yourself and Jumpstart, and then we'll get into the whole R&D from there.
Okay. In terms of me, Nicole Ballantyne, I am a chartered mechanical engineer. I have worked in industry for over 25 years, and more recently I've been involved in the business support sector. I joined Jumpstart about 6 months ago, and my main drive for joining Jumpstart was the knowledge that they share and the innovative companies that they work with. Jumpstart is a science and technology company that specialises solely in R&D tax credits. Jumpstart is the UK's leading R&D tax relief specialist. It provides a unique blend of technological and business expertise to guide many companies throughout the complexities of submitting claims to HMRC. Jumpstart scientists and engineers enable a wide variety of companies to make more successful claims for R&D tax relief. And unlike many financial services firms, our technical analysts are qualified to drill down into the most complex business and scientific systems and processes and present information in a uniquely compliant format for HMRC. Since 2008, Jumpstart's grown massively, and as part of their growth into England, they now hold about 45% of the Scottish market for R&D tax relief. Last year we took funding from BGF, and there was an initiative to build a sales force, a dedicated sales force in England, of which I am, and well, my role was part of that strategy. We now have more than 1,000 claims in process at any one time, and we work in effective partnerships with hundreds of accountancy firms and membership organisations around the country to promote growth and awareness of the R&D tax programme within the UK. We, Jumpstart, have pioneered a business model which allows companies to secure tax benefits in the form of a payable tax credit, a tax rebate, or a deduction that can be used against future profits. These benefits are of crucial importance and can make the difference between survival or failure. We've created a valuable and dynamic business, but also provided a vital service to UK PLC. That's what we believe. The UK has been and continues to be responsible for some of the greatest innovations in the international arena. So it's extremely important for us and the British companies to be encouraged to innovate and rewarded through R&D tax credit schemes. We believe that companies get the best results by using people who actually understand the science of what they do, and that's why every member of our team has a first or a postgraduate degree in an area of technology or science. We are definitely not accountants. We are chemists, biologists, engineers, physicists, computer scientists, and software engineers. I hope that gives a bit of a background to who Jumpstart are and where we sit in the marketplace and what our role is.
Okay.
Is that clear for you, Rudy?
Yeah, that's good enough for me. Thanks very much. I'm wondering, because there aren't too many people on this course, I'm going to see if I can, oh no, numbers are just increasing. Okay, let's get the people muted for now. As we go along, any of the participants, please feel free to raise your hands, ask questions in your chat box, and I'll unmute you so we can get any questions there as well and clarities. Okay, so Nicole, thank you very much for that. So on my screen at the moment, there's an image with lots of numbers. So the work that you do with accountants,
Yeah.
how does it work with them and for them? How does it become a revenue source for them, practically speaking, as well?
Okay. We work with accountants and we offer referral fees. So any client that is introduced to us that completes and successfully completes an R&D tax claim, we will pay a referral fee to the accountant or to the referrer. Essentially, we work with accountants that accept that either they haven't got time to complete an R&D tax claim completely and in depth enough, or they realise that their time is best spent doing what they should be doing, which is the accounts, or they realise that they haven't got the technical expertise in-house to identify those advances in technology, the eligible spend within what their clients are doing. And as I say, we do over 600 claims a year. We know the 500 pages of legislation absolutely inside out, and so therefore it's our bread and butter. It's all we do, and we work, and that's where we build a very close relationship with our accountancy partners, because we offer them a service that then accountants can offer to their clients, and they add value to their clients, and we add value to what your accountants are doing.
Okay. And are there accountants out there or accounting firms who do this by themselves so that they therefore claim or get more revenue for themselves as such?
What we found in the marketplace, there are definitely 2 or 3 different classes of people that do this work. There are smaller organisations, R&D tax claim companies who may not have the technical resources that we have, or the systems that we have. We're the only ISO accredited R&D tax consultancy in the UK. So we have very robust systems to ensure that the claims are robust and defendable. So there's, as I say, boutique firms, but also, yeah, of course, accountants do their own R&D tax credits for their clients. And we're very happy to work with accountants that do their own smaller claims, less complex claims. For sure, many of our accountancy partners do them themselves. The ones that they pass on to us are the real technically complex, or maybe they involve grants or subcontracting, and there's some sort of complexity in there where a typical accountant doing maybe 5 or 10 claims a year doesn't have that knowledge or expertise or fully appreciate the nuances in the legislation, and that's where we absolutely work best in partnership with accountancy firms. Of course, we can do the smaller ones, but we prefer the or the smaller, simpler ones. But of course, we're all technologists and scientists, and we like the juicy, intellectually stringent ones.
Okay, fantastic. I've had a question here from Jeff, who's on the call as well. Let me see if I can unmute Jeff and he can ask you his question directly.
Hello, Jeff.
Hi there. Is that okay? Can you hear me?
Yes, perfect. Thank you very much.
Oh, right.
Jeff,
Yes.
go ahead and ask a question to Nicole then.
Yeah, no, I was just wondering sort of more specifically how we work with someone at the moment who's, it's fine, very intellectual, very clever, not necessarily the easiest person to deal with, but she seems to get very good results. But I'm just wondering how the commission works specifically.
All right, okay. The commission works on essentially, depending on the size of the claim, we will charge the client a percentage. We completely contingent fee based, and the invoice that we raise, or that our client will pay, or your client will pay, you get a percentage of that. And we work on a sliding scale depending on the size of the client, and it ranges from 5% up to 20%.
And sorry, that wasn't specific for me. How much of that do I get?
If you work on an average of 10%, then that's kind of the standard fee. but depending on the number of clients that you have, we do have a sliding scale that can go up rather more than 10%, depending on the size of the claim.
Okay, so it's on a claim by claim basis.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So you've got some sort of template that you can see. I can see that stuff on.
Yeah, no, absolutely, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
How many claims do you do a year, Jeff? 10,
maybe more.
Right, okay.
Maybe more than that. Yeah, 10, 15, something like that. It's good. The results seem to be good, but sometimes technically the person I've been using is very, very technical, and
yeah.
It's a bit backwards and forwards, and sometimes the way she's lovely, but the way she talks to our clients sometimes isn't great.
Right. Okay.
She's in a very different space. Intellectually amazing.
But I work with lots of those.
Yes.
To be honest, I mean, there are some of those within our company, but where we've won awards around our customer service, because what we pride ourselves in is that kind of light touch at the client end, and then all the rest of the work is done kind of behind the scenes, and essentially the client will be asked to typically we have an hour and a half with a client in terms of the technical sort of download from their end, and then from that we will produce a technical report. We'll fill in a cost capture spreadsheet as far as we can, and then we send that back to the client. The client okays the technical report. The client may get yourself involved to help fill in the cost capture spreadsheet and any blank spaces. But as I say, we have won awards around our customer service in terms of once the client's on board, it kind of goes into our system and gets sort of swept through. We are a 55-person strong organisation. 20 of those are technologists and engineers, but the rest are around customer service and accounts to make sure that the claims go through the system as quickly as possible. Because we also work on a contingent fee base, it's in our interest to get those claims through the system and out the other end as quickly as possible, so that we get paid.
I mean, we're based in North London. Would you be able to sort of just visit and just introduce yourself more face to face? Would that be possible?
Yeah, we actually have an office in Slough.
Okay.
Now, as part of our expansion into England, we opened that office halfway through this year. So there's two guys that work out of that office down there. So for sure, I can put you in contact with the person that's closest to you, and that'll probably be best to service you, because we like to have a face-to-face contact with our partners, but we also like to be as close in vicinity with the clients as possible.
Sure, no, that makes sense. I like that sort of the picture you produced. It's quite good. I wouldn't mind that in my pack. I'll maybe ask if you can send me a copy of that, because I remember it might be quite nice on the wall, because it looks pretty good.
How big do you want it?
Sorry.
Link with me afterwards.
Yeah, I will do. Yeah. That'd be great. Yeah. Thank you.
One other question, actually, Jeff. Just another unique differentiator that we find that we have in the marketplace is around risk. And what we say is that we reduce risk, we reduce time, we reduce complexity, but we increase the benefit to the client in a robust and defendable way, obviously. And what's included as part of our fees is that if there's ever any questions by HMRC, or if heaven help us, it goes to investigation, we will stand that cost free of charge.
Yeah, the only pushback we get is sometimes clients, when we obviously say we outsource it, they sort of get a little bit sort of disappointed that we don't know it, and that's fine. I say, look, this is technical, this is science work, isn't accountancy work, which is sort of all right, but we sometimes get pushed back on it. Is there any other, and also say if you do deal with the specialist, good.
Yeah.
Excellent, that's what I need. Yeah.
Well, and I mean, the way that I describe it is that for me, an accountant's like a GP, and you may go into your GP with a headache, and they may prescribe some pills, but if it's a brain tumour, you want a surgeon, and we're the surgeons.
Mm. Yeah, that's a good example. That's yeah.
So for me, we work with accountants who absolutely respect the fact that we're technologists and engineers and software specialists. We're not accountants, although we do have an accounts team that helps kind of prepare the cost capture spreadsheet. And we respect your knowledge and your relationship with your client, and you respect our ability to do what we do best, which is the technical side and the technical backup and due diligence behind an R&D tax claim to make it as robust and defendable as possible. And one person cannot know all of those different scientific areas. You know, even within our technical analyst team, an engineer or who specialises in the manufacturing area, if I have a software client, he won't be talking to the software client because he'll just say, oh, that's not my area of specialism, go and talk to Stuart. If I go to Stuart with a biotech question, he'll say, no, 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 you need to talk to Karen because she's the specialist. So even within our band of intellectuals, they very much pass the work around to whoever the best person is, who's got that industry knowledge, who's got that experience, to be able to truly identify what the tax credit was there for in the first place. The whole concept is about the advance in science and technology and understanding what is the baseline and what is the advance on that baseline within the industry.
Sure.
There are many nuances within that.
No, that degree of comfort is very useful, isn't it? It's even within the specialism, it's not just a science specialism, it's actually having a good range of people within it. That makes a lot of sense.
Absolutely, yeah.
So, okay, Jeff, thank you very much for your questions there. So we'll put you back on mute for now. Nicole, so I know that quite a few of my clients have actually come back and said, no, we're already using somebody.
Yeah.
And I'll make sure they get to listen to your recordings of this as well, so they know what else is out there. But if we've got an accountant who's not yet gone into this section or into R&D and they're like, well, what's it all about? And so looking at this page here on my screen in the middle bit there, what sort of companies are claiming and what's eligible. So if I'm an accountant, I've got, I don't know, 100, 200, whatever, how many clients, when do I decide to pick up the phone to you guys or not? What is it that triggers it for me that there might be R&D in this?
Anytime. To be fair, we're happy to talk to or to visit any client, and on every week I may be going out to see one or two clients who aren't eligible, who believe that they're not eligible or have been told they're not eligible, and I'll go out and speak to them, and we'll find little nuggets of work that are potentially eligible. But on the flip side, I also go out to see companies who think that they're eligible and claim to be doing a lot of research and development, but under the eyes of HMRC and the legislation, they are absolutely not eligible. So it's very difficult to say unless a client is I'm trying to think of the completely ineligible sector. I don't think there's any sector that is completely ineligible. I visit quite a lot of manufacturing companies who think that they're not eligible because that's all they've ever done. They make tin cans, they make cardboard boxes. That's what they've always done. But for sure, there's a lot of process development work going on. There's reductions in thickness of material. There's increases in speeds on the lines. There is energy reduction activities going on. All these other activities are going on around the main manufacturing site, and any one of those could have eligible spend within it. Software companies, quite often I go out and see, and I don't understand a lot of what they're saying. And I translate as much as I can to our software guys, and often clients that I think, oh, it just sounds like they're regurgitating or bespoking a system. They may be writing algorithms, or they may be doing something in the back, something to do with the integration of one piece of software to another. That'll be highly eligible activity. And I didn't think so. So I'm absolutely not the best person in terms of eligibility, but as I say, the company were more than happy to go out and talk to any client about eligible activities and try and find those nuggets of eligibility, of eligible spend, and pull a claim together.
Okay, so in other words, if people want to try R&D and yourselves, it's a matter of,
yep.
and I will give your details out, and I'm sure it's available on your website as well, Jumpstart. But it's a matter of picking up the phone, starting a conversation with you guys, and then you'll take it from there.
Absolutely, yeah. And we can, we're very flexible in terms of how we work. We're more than happy to go and see a client on our own. We're more than happy to go and see a client with the accountant. We're more than happy to have a telephone conversation. Whichever way works best for the relationship with the accountant, we're happy to work. I have one accountant that I work with, and I go in once a month, and we effectively run a surgery. So the client will come in and spend an hour with me, and the accountant's lined up a number of clients during the day, and we'll go through what their activities are, what their main activities are, where the potential eligible spend could be. And I run through the scheme and talk about what is eligible spend, what's not eligible, what is routine work, what is, as HMRC defines it, a non-deducible, non-readily deducible technical uncertainty, which in itself, that group of words is confusing before you even start.
Okay, and like Jeff was saying, they've got somewhere between 10, 15 claims a year from their
yep.
client base, and most accountancy practices, without probably even realizing it, are going to have at least 5, 10 claims that are sitting there that,
yep.
if not more, that they could tap into.
Yep. Another activity that we do for accountants that we partner with, we have a partnership program, and anyone that's interested, I can send a partnership prospectus out to. And essentially they kind of go on our list of people to share information with. So we run a monthly webinar about, last month it was about HMRC red flags. So, what not to say in an R&D tax relief report to avoid having HMRC question it or drill down any further. And we talk about what's happening in industry in general, new areas of eligibility that we have found, but also we run through lots of different areas of industry as kind of pinpointers for accountants to identify potential eligible spend within their clients. What we also do for accountants is that we can run training sessions, so we can go into an accountancy firm and do an hour, 2 hours for fee earners, to go through different areas of technology, engineering, software, financial services, and talk through case studies of what the eligible spend was, what the project was, and sometimes that activity, going through many, many case studies of who's claimed before and what they've claimed for, just sets triggers going in the accountant's brain. So, oh, so-and-so does that. Oh, yeah, I know. So-and-so was talking about that last week. So that's a good way just to kind of jog people's memories. The final thing, well, it's probably not the final thing, but another thing that we do offer for accountants is that we're more than happy to go through client lists and traffic light the client list. So just by going onto their website and maybe talking through with the accountant about what each of the clients does, we can look at number of staff, turnover, and their general area of activity, and classify red, amber, green. Green, let's have another conversation. These are the companies that really we think potentially could have eligible spend, and they would be good ones to kind of review in a bit more detail, and we're happy to help you do that.
Okay, thank you very much. So what we're saying is it would be silly for accounting practices not to spend a few hours with you just to go through the client base and see what's there, because you just never know.
Yeah.
Besides the revenue, it's just really about adding the value to the clients.
Absolutely, yeah.
Good stuff. Okay, so Nicole, I think you've done a fantastic job in explaining a bit about yourselves, how this works. I will send your contact details out to the client base and anyone else who's interested as well. So I have no more questions from my side. If people do want to get in touch with you, and I said I will send out the details, but what's the best way to get hold of you?
Either link with me on LinkedIn, or Rudy, you can share my email address, nicole.ballantyne@jumpstartuk.co.uk. If you would like, as I say, we have a accountancy prospectus, how we work with accountants, and just to give you an overview, then I'm more than happy to send that out to you. More than happy to send Jeff that infographic, absolutely, for his office wall. But we have hundreds of case studies in specific sectors, so if you have a client and you're not sure whether you think they may be eligible, just one or two sentences, my client does this and they do this, do you think they would be eligible? And I'm sure we'll have some examples of clients that we've claimed in that sector, in that area, and it's all anonymized, so then there's a good illustration of our knowledge within the field and our presence within the R&D tax credit community.
Okay, so that email address again is on the screen, nicole.ballantyne, then at jumpstart.co.uk.
Yeah.
Nicole, thank you very much. I don't see any other questions coming in, so I think we've had that answered. Thank you very much. Thanks very much for sharing with us this morning and for your time.
Oh, thank you for having me. Thank you.
I'll get your information out to people on this morning as well, so they can get in touch with you.
Yeah.
And hey, thank you very much, and have a great rest of the day.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, Carl, thanks very much. And to everyone else as well, I hope you have a fantastic day. Bye.